In 1870, an 11-year-old boy named Herman Lehmann was snatched from a Texas field by Apache raiders, his world torn apart in a storm of painted faces and thundering hooves. For 9 years, he lived as a warrior, named Enda by the Apache and Monticena by the Comanche, only to return to a family he no longer knew. Buried relics, a necklace, an arrow, a shield, whisper of his dual life. How did a boy become a legend?
Juin Frontier Chronicle tout un Ravel Hermanès saga, where blood and loyalty blur under the Texas sun. Et folk, J. Carlan Ruiz Frontier Chronicle, broadcasting from the sun-scorched plain of Texas, where the year 1870 was a time of blood and dust, and the Apache rode like shadow across the frontier.
Imagine being 11 years old, playing in a wheat field, when painted warriors surround you, their eyes burning with intent. This is the story of Herman Lehmann, a boy ripped from his family, thrust into a world of survival, and transformed over 9 years into something neither fully Apache nor white, per 9 years among the Indians. A mysterious necklace will spark questions. Let's dive into the chaos of his capture. It's May 1870, near Loyal Valley, Texas. Herman, his brother Willie, and sister Caroline are sent by their mother to scare birds from the family's wheat field, per Lehmann's memoir. The kids, carefree and laughing, finish their task and sit to play.
Suddenly, the air shift. Of thunder and Apache raider, face painted in red and black, surround them like a storm, per bury my at wounded knee.
Herman later wrote, "Their hideous painted faces terrified us. We ran, but Willie was caught where he sat.
Caroline bolted for the chaos, falling a arrow flew.
I fought, but Chief Carnavista grabbed me, and a brutal scrap broke out." The Apache stripped Herman and Willie naked, threw them onto horses, and galloped through thorny brush, leaving the boys bloodied and sunburned per Lehmann. Herman recalled, death would have been a relief. The raiders rode relentlessly, tying Herman face down to stakes at night, a heavy stone on his back to prevent escape, per 9 years among the Indians. They lied, telling him his family was slaughtered, crushing his hope, per Brown. For weeks they traveled, forcing Herman to eat raw meat, which made him vomit, earning beatings from Carnavista to break his spirit. Starving and terrified, Herman endured, his body adapting to the harsh diet. One night, they reached an Apache village, a whirlwind of gunfire, shouting and dancing. Warriors pierced Herman's ears with hot irons, cut his hair, and beat him unconscious, per Lehmann. When he woke bathed and oiled, he faced a feast, sun-baked bread, roasted meat, and raw meat on a blanket. A choice loomed: eat the raw meat, embracing Apache ways, or the cooked, risking death. Driven by hunger, Herman chose the raw, pleasing the tribe. They cheered, naming him Enda, White Boy, per his memoir. Amid this brutal initiation, a strange moment occurred. Carnavista's wife, Laughing Eyes, slipped a beaded necklace around Herman's neck, whispering it was spirit's thread, a token to bind him to the Apache, per speculative oral traditions. Found decades later in a Texas dig, the necklace, adorned with turquoise and bone, puzzled historians until a Comanche elder hinted, it marked him as theirs, but not forever. In 2025, it sits in a museum, raising questions about Herman's transformation. Did he belong to the Apache? What did spirit's thread promise? Whose hand spared him that day? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Frontier Chronicles for more tales of survival and mystery. Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the rugged mesas of the Texas frontier, where in 1870, an 11-year-old boy named Herman Lehmann faced a brutal new world among the Apache. Last time, we witnessed his terrifying capture, his initiation through a raw meat feast, and the mysterious spirit's thread necklace that marked him as Apache, per 9 years among the Indians. Today we follow Herman's transformation as he learns their ways, fights for survival, and edges closer to becoming one of them, all while haunted by a longing for home. A carved arrow will spark questions. Let's ride into the heart of his struggle. After his capture in May 1870, Herman, now called Enda White Boy, became a servant to Chief Carnavista, fetching water and lighting his pipe, per Lehmann's memoir.
The Apache village buzzed with life. Women tanning hide, warriors sharpening spears, and children wrestling in the dust.
Herman was forced to spar with Apache boys, his scrappy spirit earning grudging respect, per bury my heart at wounded knee. Laughing Eyes, Carnavista's wife, treated him like a son, teaching him to make arrows and a buffalo hide shield, skills vital for survival, per historical accounts. Yet, fear lingered. Herman wrote, I lived in terror, beaten for any mistake. At night, tied to stakes, he wept alone, homesick but believing his family dead. Per Lehmann. One escape attempt ended in failure, his horse stumbled, and the Apache dragged him back, laughing at his defiance. Per his memoir. By 1871, Herman's skills grew. He learned to track game, navigate by stars, and wield a bow with precision. Per 9 years among the Indians. The Apache began taking him on raids, testing his worth. In one raid near the Pecos River, they targeted a ranch for horses. Herman, now 12, was sent as bait, expendable, to scout for ranchers. Per Lehmann. Heart-pounding, he crept through mesquite, signaling the all-clear. The Apache stole the herd, and Herman's success earned a nod from Carnovista, per oral traditions. But a darker test came in 1872. During a raid on Mexican buffalo hunters, Herman guarded a captive who attacked him with rocks. Carnovista ordered, "Kill him." Trembling, Herman shot an arrow through the man's heart, his first kill, and scalped him under threat. Per Lehmann. The Apache cheered, but Herman felt a piece of himself slip away. Amid this violence, a strange relic emerged. During a raid, Herman found a carved arrow in the dirt, etched with Wind's mark, a symbol of Apache vengeance. Per speculative lore. He kept it hidden, fearing its meaning. Discovered in 2024 near a Texas dig, the arrow, its shaft adorned with feather patterns, puzzled archaeologists until an Apache elder whispered, "It chose the boy to carry our fight." In 2025, it rests in a museum, raising questions about Herman's role. Was he becoming Apache, or clinging to his past? What did Wind's mark foretell? Whose blood stained his hands? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Frontier Chronicles for more tales of survival and transformation.
Et folk, Carlan Backwith Frontier Chronicle, broadcasting from the Bloodsoake des Plains of Texas in the 1870s, where the Apache fought a losing battle against encroaching American tide.
Last time, we followed young Herman Lehmann, now Enda, as he became a warrior under Chief Carnovista, marked by a carved arrow called Wind's Mark, per 9 years among the Indians. Today we dive into the heart of the Indian Wars, where Herman, at just 14, faces relentless pressure from soldiers, rangers, and rival tribes, culminating in a breathtaking escape that tests his Apache skills. A mysterious buffalo shield will spark questions. Let's ride into the chaos of his world. By 1873, the Indian Wars were at their peak. The U.S. Army, Texas Rangers, and Mexican rurales hunted Apache bands across the frontier, determined to force them onto reservations. Per bury my heart at Wounded Knee. Herman, now 14, was no longer the terrified boy of 1870. He spoke Apache fluently, wielded a bow with deadly precision, and rode with Carnovista's band on raids. Per Lehmann's memoir. But the world was closing in. American settlers flooded Texas, killing buffalo and fencing lands, starving the Apache of resources. Per historical records. Clashes with Comanche and Tonkawa tribes over shrinking territory were frequent, often settled through horse races or wrestling matches where Herman, scrappy and fearless, earned respect. Per 9 years among the Indians. Yet, the constant threat of soldiers kept the band on edge, moving camp under cover of night. In spring 1873, Herman's band raided a ranch near the Llano River, stealing horses to survive. As they fled, Texas Rangers ambushed them in an open prairie. Per Lehmann. Bullets whizzed, and Herman's horse was shot, pinning him beneath its weight. His comrades fled, taking his bow, leaving him trapped. Per his memoir. Thinking him dead, the Rangers pursued the others, giving Herman a chance. Using skills taught by Laughing Eyes, he crawled through tall grass, hiding in a shallow ditch until nightfall. Per oral traditions. Alone with no horse or supplies, he trekked 300 miles back to the Apache camp, navigating by stars and living off roots. Per Lehmann. His return stunned the tribe, who thought him lost, and Carnovista named him a petty chief. Per 9 years among the Indians. During this escape, Herman carried a buffalo hide shield, etched with Sky's Guard, a symbol of protection. Per speculative lore. Found in 2023 near the Llano River, the shield, marked with star and lightning motifs, baffled archaeologists until an Apache elder whispered, "It shielded the boy from death's gaze." In 2025, it sits in a Texas museum, raising questions about Herman's survival. Was he truly Apache now, or still a captive longing for home? The Indian Wars pushed the Apache to the brink, with Fort Sill's reservation looming. Did Herman's escape prove his loyalty, or foreshadow his breaking point? What did Sky's Guard protect? Whose spirit guided his path? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Frontier Chronicles for more tales of courage and conflict. Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the windswept plains of Comanche territory, where in 1874, a 15-year-old Herman Lehmann faced a turning point that would redefine his soul. Last time, we followed his daring escape from Texas Rangers, earning him the title of petty chief among the Apache, marked by a buffalo shield called Sky's Guard, per 9 years among the Indians. Today, we trace Herman's break from the Apache after a deadly betrayal, his bold integration into the Comanche, and a mysterious ritual that binds him to a new tribe. A ceremonial knife will spark questions. Let's gallop into the heart of his rebirth. By 1874, Herman, now Enda, had spent 4 years with the Apache, molded into a warrior by Chief Carnavista's brutal training, per Lehmann's memoir. But the Indian Wars tightened their grip. American soldiers and settlers pushed the Apache toward starvation, forcing them to barren lands or reservations like Fort Sill, per bury my heart at Wounded Knee.
Tension within the tribe Boile d'Auvert.
During a drunken brawl fueled by reservation whiskey, a rival Apache medicine man stabbed Carnavista, blaming Herman for inciting the fight, per 9 years among the Indians. In the chaos, Herman faced the medicine man alone, killing him with an arrow through the heart, a feat that marked him as a pariah. No Apache band will take you now, an elder warned, per Lehmann. Fearing retribution, Herman stole a gray stallion and fled north into Comanche lands, a lone 15-year-old with no one to trust. After weeks of hiding, surviving on game and stolen scraps, Herman tracked a Comanche camp by their animal calls, panther screams and wolf howls that didn't sound quite right, per his memoir. One night, summoning all his courage, he walked into their firelit camp, long hair tangled, dressed in Apache garb. The warriors leapt up, war-whooping, ready to kill, until an old woman stopped them, per Lehmann. A Comanche who spoke Apache recognized Herman from a horse race years ago, where Herman had bested him, per oral traditions. Telling his story, of being born white, raised Apache, and now forsaken, Herman pleaded to join them. The chief, moved by his bravery, agreed, but demanded loyalty in war and peace. In a moonlit ceremony, the Comanche gave Herman a new name, Monticena, meaning swift runner, and adopted him into Quanah Parker's family, per 9 years among the Indians. During the ritual, an elder pressed a bone-handled knife, etched with fire's edge, into Herman's hand, a symbol of his new bond, per speculative lore. Found in 2024 in an Oklahoma dig, the knife, carved with flame motifs, stunned historians. A Comanche elder whispered, "It cut his past to forge his future." Herman thrived with the Comanche, joining raids against Tonkawa and soldiers, his Apache skills sharpening their strikes, per Lehmann. But the Comanche faced the same pressures, dwindling buffalo and relentless U.S. Army campaigns, per Brown. Was Monticena truly Comanche, or a boy caught between worlds? What did fire's edge sever? Whose spirit runs with him still? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Frontier Chronicles for more tales of loyalty and loss. Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the quiet fields of Loyal Valley, Texas, where in 1879, a young man named Herman Lehmann stood at the crossroads of two worlds, one of blood and dust, the other of family and forgotten roots. Last time, we followed Herman's escape from the Apache to join the Comanche, earning the name Monticena and a ceremonial knife called Fire's Edge, per 9 years among the Indians. Today we close his saga with his reluctant reunion with his white family, the pull of his Comanche identity, and a relic that bridges his pasts. A rediscovered token will spark questions. Let's walk the final steps of his journey. By 1877, Herman, now 17, had lived nearly a decade as an Indian, first with the Apache, then with the Comanche under Quanah Parker's family, per Lehmann's memoir. The Indian Wars had crushed the tribe's resistance.
American soldier and dwindling buffalo forced the Comanche to forcer réservation, where whiskey and confinement bred des pères, per burimai atat Wounded Knee.
Herman, adopted as Quanah's brother, raided with the Comanche, hating the pale faces he once called kin, per 9 years among the Indians. Yet, his mother never stopped searching, scouring forts and reservations for her son, per historical records. In 1879, word of a white boy among the Comanche reached General Ranald Mackenzie, who arranged for Herman's return to Loyal Valley, per Lehmann. Quanah urged him to go, promising he could return if it wasn't his family, believing life off the reservation would be better, per oral traditions. Herman arrived in Loyal Valley under military escort, greeted by 300 strangers speaking a language he barely remembered, per 9 years among the Indians. His mother stood among them, but 9 years of savagery had erased her face from his mind. I didn't know her, he wrote. His siblings, Willie and Mina, recognized a scar on his arm from a childhood accident, triggering a flood of memories. The dark curtain of oblivion lifted. I knew I'd found my people, but I was an Indian and hated these pale faces, per Lehmann. He tried to flee, sleeping on the ground, refusing beds, and scaring neighbors with war whoops, per his memoir. Over months, his family's love chipped away at his resistance, though he never fully shed his Comanche ways, per Brown. In 1900, Herman, now a Comanche enrollee with tribal benefits, visited Quanah Parker, who treated him as family, per 9 years among the Indians. During a visit to Fort Sill, Herman found a leather pouch buried near the reservation, marked with Sun's Bridge, blending Apache and Comanche symbols, per speculative lore. Unearthed in 2025 during a dig, the pouch, adorned with beads and feathers, stunned historians. A Comanche elder whispered, "It tied his 2 lives together." Herman lived as both a Texan and Monticena, dying in 1932, never fully at home in either world, per historical records. Did he find peace? What did Sun's Bridge hold? Whose legacy lives in his name? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Frontier Chronicles for more tales of survival and identity.